Welcome to the Wendy's Halftime Show. Burgers always made to order, so it's hot and juicy. Wendy's, that's right.
Welcome to the Wendy's Halftime Show. Halftime in Dallas. Tony Romo and Brett Favre slinging it in Big D against one another. Charles Woodson not playing in this game due to a toe injury suffered last Thanksgiving. Last week, first quarter, Romo to Terrell Owens on the sidelines. Looks like Al Harris rips the ball away, but it was called. Owens had his forward progress stopped, even though refs came by and pointed in Green Bay's direction.
Yeah, one ref said T.O. caught it. The other guy right here, number 125, says Green Bay has the interception.
So it's 3-3 when Ryan Grant is leveled in the hole by Roy Williams. A big hit right there.
Good hit by Roy right there. Shows you why he's one of the hardest hitting safeties in the game.
Brett Favre was slinging it vertically throughout much of the first quarter of this game. Then Ken Hamlin takes that easy gimme pick, led to the next play. Romo to Terrell Owens for 34 yards right there.
See some confusion in the secondary as to who has T.O. on the crossing route.
Down to the Green Bay 7, and then Patrick Crayton with the first touchdown of the game makes it a 10-point game. Ryan Grant breaks loose 62 yards in a 3rd and short.
A lot of confusion in the secondary and the defense of the Dallas Cowboys. They got a timeout before that, but they weren't able to put it together.
Made it 13-10, first play of the second quarter. Romo pump fakes and throws all the way down the field to wide open Terrell Owens, who had a huge first half. Play fake, Romo 2 plays later to Anthony Fasano, his first career touchdown. It's a 10-point game. Brett Favre gets leveled on this particular play. Nathan Jones hits Favre, who leaves the game clutching his right elbow. That led to an interception by Terrence Newman. As for the rest of the game at this point, Romo to a wide open Terrell Owens, who enjoys his popcorn getting ready right there. And Brett Favre was on the sidelines for the rest of the half. Aaron Rodgers came in, did throw his first career touchdown to make it a 10-point game again, but really the score is secondary right now to how Brett Favre is feeling. And Steve, as Brett Favre came off the field, you and he had a conversation. What did he tell you as he came off the field?
Well, he came over to me, actually, and he had his arm wrapped up now. He said, I got hit in the nerve, and my fingers are numb. He can't feel the ball like he needs to throw it. So I don't think anything's broken. I think he's got a numb hand right now, and I don't know. He didn't say anything about returning or not.
But I know we're not doctors. We don't play a doctor on TV. Do you think a quarterback can handle that sort of, I mean, he's numb in his hand. It sounds like Favre's out for the night.
I would expect him to be out of the game. First of all, the sync. They had no cohesiveness on the offensive unit. They seemed like they abandoned their game plan. And Brett Favre was up under severe pressure all game long. And it seemed as though when Aaron Rodgers got into the game, he was able to orchestrate that offense much better than Brett Favre.
You know, while watching the first half, the thing that concerned me the most was why did they get away from what was successful in the first drive? Dinkin and Duncan, they took their shots, but then second and third drives, they were throwing the ball down the field. The pressure from the Dallas Cowboys was just too much for that offensive line.
The last time Brett Favre was knocked from a game due to injury was last November 19th when he suffered a right elbow injury. He did return to action the next week, but he did not return in that 35-0 loss to the New England Patriots. Adam Schefter is standing by the Packers locker room, and we will get an update from him when we return on the Wendy's Halftime Show from an enthusiastic Texas stadium.
The U.S. Army Reserve takes a different kind of strength.
The strength to help people one day and lead people the next.
The strength to build confidence one day and build knowledge the next.
The strength to improve your country one day and your career the next.
The strength to be both a citizen and a soldier in the U.S. Army Reserve.
There's strong, and then there's Army Strong. Find out more about the Army Reserve at GoArmyReserve.com.
There'll come a day when you'll wonder. You'll think back to how you used to listen. Before you heard your music, your sports, your talk, all from the same place. And you'll wonder how you ever got along without it. Sirius. Everything else falls short. Over 130 channels. Only one place to get it all. Sirius Satellite Radio.
Stepping in front of the 20, to the 10, stop at the 1 yard line. The kick is good! Picked up! Holy mackerel! BJ's got it in the end zone! Touchdown! To the 10, it's a touchdown!
Welcome back to the Wendy's halftime show again. In case you're just joining us, the Cowboys are up 10 points, and they knocked Brett Favre from the game. Suffered a right elbow injury. Adam Schefter's outside the Packers locker room. Adam, take it away.
Thanks, Rich. Brett Favre had no feeling in his hand when he came to the locker room. Basically, he had an arm wrapped in a big sleeve. We are awaiting an update on his condition and whether or not he can resume playing in the second half.
And as you can see, the Packers right behind you are coming out for the second half of this game. It is really loud out here in Texas Stadium because they're honoring the 1977 and 92 championship teams. Tony Casillas and Moose Johnston were just announced to this highly enthusiastic crowd as they're up 10 points. What can the Packers do? Certainly if Brett Favre doesn't return to this game, Steve.
First of all, they need to get some things straightened out on defense. They start pressuring Tony Romo because T.O. is having a huge night. 6 catches and 147 yards. They've got to slow that down and keep them out of the end zone. And if it's Aaron Rodgers, he's got to be methodical. They got to control the ball and get some more points, obviously.
It seems as though Dallas defense got away from their game plan once Aaron Rodgers came in. I look for them to go back to their original game plan, put a lot of pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and like Coach alluded to, you got to find some way to stop T.O. No one else is hurting you. No one else is even involved, but T.O. is your Achilles heel right now.
First of all, kudos to Jason Garrett for all the different ways he's used T.O. tonight. We felt like it was going to be a matchup between Ian and Al Harris, but the one thing that's apparent, they're moving T.O. around, create mismatches. You see him on linebackers and safeties when they're trying to switch coverage. That was a great scheme. The other thing is Aaron Rodgers getting him in the game, using his mobility is going to be key for the Packers in the second half.
Well, as you can see, the Packers spilling out of the locker room door, a very familiar face, not one of them. Brett Favre is yet to come out of the locker room. The Cowboys are up 10, and the crowd is going nuts here in Dallas. Second half coming up on the Wendy's halftime show.
Watching the Wendy's halftime show. Burgers always made to order, so it's hot and juicy. Wendy's, that's right.
What's behind the grill is what matters most. For those who want it more, there's professional grade.
NFL Network presents Thursday Night Football, and it's your place to see Denver. The Broncos hit the Lone Star State to battle the Texans in an AFC showdown. The run to the playoffs is back. NFL Network, your home for football 24/7, all year long. Thursday Night Football, Broncos, Texans.
People sometimes ask me, they say, Warren, what are you laughing about? What's so funny? Let us in on the joke. Usually, I don't say a word. I just smile, keep them guessing. But I'll fill you in on a little secret. Even though I've knocked a pretty boy QB on his backside over 90 times in my career, each time I do it, it's hilarious.
Their day begins like yours. Quick breakfast, drive down to work. Another day on the job.
Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, ma'am.
But after all the pleasantries, and talk about the weekend, from that point on, it's all business.
I'm Mike McCarthy, and you're watching NFL Network.
been as advertised. Brett Favre under a lot of pressure early. Teams traded field goals, and then Tony Romo and Barber got it going. They got assisted a great deal by Brett Favre, who was picked off twice. Big half for Terrell Owens. He's got 6 catches, 147 yards, and 1 score. The other 2 touchdowns going to Anthony Fasano and Patrick Crayton. The big story of the night is Brett Favre forced to the sidelines with an injured right arm, and Aaron Rodgers came on and played very well, taking the Packers to a touchdown to close the gap to 27-17. Back upstairs, along with Chris Collinsworth, I'm Bryant Gumbel. Do we see Favre in the second half? What's your bet?
I don't think so. I think when they made the decisions earlier with Charles Woodson, with KGB, it was for this is still just a regular season game. Yes, it's a big regular season game. And quietly, even within the Green Bay camp, I don't think there's a great fear of coming back to Dallas one day for a potential championship game, because they are so much about the passing game. And down here, you're going to get better weather. That's the word you hear from underneath.
Except for Brett is 0-8 playing in this stadium.
And right now, Brett is not playing, which is even bigger news.
And Aaron Rodgers played very well.
That was an impressive drive, no question about it.
And so Crosby will get our second half underway. This is Miles Austin, and Crosby makes a tackle on this side at the 42-yard line.
They are going to wear out Miles Austin for that. Tony
Romo's already laughing about it. Let's take a look at our first half statistics. Kind of surprising the total yards are only separated there by 13, because it seemed like a lot more.
Well, there was just a gap in there for Green Bay, because they moved the ball well at the beginning when they were spreading it out and doing their thing, and then all of a sudden they had a couple of turnovers, and Dallas got 14 points off of that. And then late, they got back to what they do, and they moved the ball again.
And Brett Favre is still in the locker room. He did not come back out with his teammates for the second half. He is being evaluated, we are told. We'll keep our eye on that. Romo will throw on first down, and he was going for Jason Witten, who was tripped up by Brady Papinga, and the flag follows. This one's pretty easy.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 51 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It's like Flozell Adams came out of there limping just a little bit. I'd say that's a foul. That has a pretty good chance of being a foul.
I like how he extended his arms afterwards.
I don't know if fans realize, but there is an official on the field that watches every single wide receiver eligible guy individually. So when they miss something like that, they should be fired. If he didn't see that, they need to get rid of him.
Just short of midfield, first down for the Cowboys. The give is to Julius Jones, and he'll get another first as he crosses the 40 before Nick Collins upends him. We're going to be keeping an eye out for Brett Favre, but we've just gotten word that he is going to get x-rayed in the locker room, where he is being evaluated. Should he make an appearance, we'll of course let you know, or any other word we get. Adam Schefter is on the case.
Of course, x-rays don't tell you anything about ligaments, tendons. There's Brett coming back out, and I think that's Steve Mariucci got hold of him.
Romo lofting this one, and it drops in between Witten and Fasano, who are in the same vicinity. Not really sure who that one was intended for.
Well, let's call it a good sign that we're seeing Brett coming back down, regardless of whether he plays or not. He has the sleeve on that elbow now. Boy, he's been so remarkable for so long. I mean, you just don't play this position as long as he has and just play time after time after time. It's really a remarkable story. I don't think we'll ever see it again.
He makes his appearance in the lower right corner from where we're sitting, and he's getting a hand there as he comes back onto the field. And Julius Jones is brought down by Colin Jenkins. And you see Brett there with the sleeve on his throwing arm, making his way back to the sideline. Here's the play on which he was injured once again. You're going to see Nathan Jones coming from Brett's front side, and it would appear that Favre hit his elbow on Jones' helmet.
Yeah, and that would be the good news if it's more bone related. When you get that arm in a vulnerable position and you're throwing and snapping that arm forward, and all of a sudden somebody hits the top half of your arm, what you worry about then is the ligament damage or the possibility of it.
Meanwhile, Cowboys facing 3rd and 12 here on their opening drive. And I think on the far side, Colombo jumped early.
Ball start, number 75 offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, Mark Colombo has reason to jump early. He's been playing against Aaron Campman, who's #1 in the NFL in sacks, and he knows that he has to get off the ball, but at least so far he's been doing a nice job against Aaron Campman. Campman's a guy that's completely transformed himself. He came in the league as a 290-pound run-stuffing end. He started doing all these different kind of training techniques, worked his way down to 260 pounds, and now leads the NFL with sacks.
But part of our story tonight is they have not been able to get pressure on Romo, who, as you noted, looked like he'd hardly broken a sweat. Steps up this time and completes it to Witten, but he would appear to be short of the first before A.J. Hawk drags him down. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Cowboys go for it here. Let's go down to Adam Schefter real quick for a quick report about Brett Favre. Adam?
Thanks very much, Brian. Basically, Brett Favre's fingers are numb and sore. His elbow is swollen. Right now, it does not look like Brett Favre will be back this evening.
All right, thank you, Adam. Just on the sidelines to lend support, and indeed the Cowboys in 4th and short are going to go for it. They're calling it 4th and 2. It would appear to be considerably less than that. Jones is stacked behind Hoyt. He's the up back. This is Jones. Stuffed in the hole. It would appear he did not make it. Ryan Pickett getting stout in the inside. So the Cowboys will turn it over on downs. Good stop by the Packer defense.
Looked like Ryan Pickett was the guy that came through there, and they have made it official now that it is Green baseball.
They waited their good time, didn't they? We thought we were going to get our first measurement of the night, but indeed they came up short, and so the Packers will get the ball trailing by 10.
It's the season to shop, and the red tags are coming back for the Buick Pontiac GMC Red Tag event. And right now, they're bringing the best values of the season. Look for the red tag and get 0% financing for 60 months on remaining 2007 Pontiac, Buick, and GMC models. That's 0% financing for 5 full years on all 2007 cars, light-duty trucks, and SUVs while supplies last. The Red Tag event. See some red, save some green.
In the red zone today.
Get NFL Mobile only from Sprint on the all-new Motorola Razr 2. Sharper than ever.
Hello, Moto.
The opposite of the oh no reaction.
Yes!
Now on sale at Sears. Find exactly what they're wishing for with great doorbusters from Friday at 5 p.m. to Saturday at noon. Get an amazing 60% off all men's Arrow and Docker sweaters. Save $200 on this 37-inch Sylvania LCD HD TV, only $799.99. And save $20 on this Craftsman drill kit, now only $79.99. This Friday through Saturday only. Don't just give a gift, grant a wish. Sears.
Thursday Night Football on NFL Network is brought to you by GMC, official vehicle of the NFL and proud supporter of those who wanted more. The new Motorola Razr 2, sharper than ever.
The Cowboys have turned it over on downs after going for it on 4th and a short 2.
What a play by Ryan Pickett, too.
And so Rodgers starts the second half for the Packers and goes down in a heap. Brady James and Greg Ellis arriving there at the same time.
One of the problems you have as the backup quarterback, when you start to see some exotic looks, you're just not used to it. I mean, this is something that Aaron Rodgers, who was playing Tony Romo all week, running the Dallas offense, probably didn't see that blitz in practice, doesn't know where to go. The hot reads aren't immediate for him, and that time he had to eat it.
Starts the week playing Tony Romo, finishes the week playing Brett Favre.
Yeah.
He'll complete this one to James Jones, but that's not going very far. Anthony Henry grabbing him as soon as he lays hands on it.
Well, one of the things they wanted to do tonight is Anthony Henry's been playing on a bad ankle, and they were really determined to throw some short stuff underneath him, or at least Brett was, and try and let their wide receivers get some yards after the catch. They're number one in the league with that, but Henry's been true to the test so far.
3rd and long for Aaron Rodgers.
Pressure will be coming here without question.
He gets good protection and completes this one to Donald Driver. Close to midfield, call it the 47-yard line. Another good throw by Rodgers.
No question about it. Nate Jones did come on the blitz one more time. I'm really surprised that Wade Phillips didn't try and bring a little bit more pressure after getting the sack early. But we're seeing the Packers offensive line do the best job that they can. Some of those changes they made up front may be paying off at this point.
Rodgers picking up 17 yards on the 3rd and 11. This is Ryan Grant getting 3 on the right side. Roy Williams coming up and being credited with the stop.
Aaron Rodgers and Greg Jennings, right at the end of the first half, made some big plays to get the Packers right back in this game. And again, he converted on 3rd down there. But this is the one that really started the momentum going back Green Bay's way. But when you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys in these clutch situations now, I'm surprised they're not coming after Rodgers. Let's see if they do here as they go spread.
Rodgers will run for it. And this time he does go feet first as he moves into Cowboy territory to the 41-yard line.
Well, if you practice like you're Tony Romo, you play like you're Tony Romo. One of the dangers that you get into when you try and run those man underneath coverages on the outside, all your cornerbacks are staring at the receiver as they broke to the out. There's literally nobody standing in the middle of the field. Rodgers looked out, not there, pulled it down, and has another big run for a first down. That's his second one in this game.
Aaron Rodgers completed his last 6 throws now, has the Packers on the move. Rodgers with tons of time. Completes it to Donald Lee, and Donald Lee still on his feet to the 25, dragging Roy Williams. Make that 7 in a row for Aaron Rodgers.
Well, the Packers right now are making adjustments. They're trying to help in protection. That time they had a tight end, 2 backs in, and Corey Hall and Ryan Grant did a tremendous job shoring up the protection inside. It was Mark Tauscher on the outside on that bad ankle, and Aaron Rodgers just bought enough time to find Donald Lee.
13 more, and he will be Brett Favre.
Wow.
Brett had 20 in a row last week against Detroit. Rodgers has 7 in a row tonight. This time he'll give it to Grant, and Grant will get nothing. Stopped inside Jason Hatcher.
Jason Hatcher's had a nice game tonight. Marcus Spears is the guy that starts for them, but when I was watching the tape of the Dallas Cowboys, I didn't see a lot of difference between Marcus Spears and Jason Hatcher. Spears maybe a little stouter, a little bigger against the run. Hatcher maybe a little better pass rusher, but Hatcher's come up big so far in this one.
Rodgers looking and finding Donald Lee once again. Kevin Burnett drags him down. He's going to leave the Packers with 3rd and about 4.
Well, again, we're getting back to Green Bay's offense, which is a series of short throws. The Cowboys choosing not to blitz on Aaron Rodgers, despite the fact they've had some success. They work inside against Kevin Burnett in a one-on-one kind of situation. But that's a little 7-8-yard throw. Those are easy, and unless the pressure gets there, Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to make those throws, especially down to the goal line. More often than not, you're going to get pressure against a young quarterback. Roy Williams in the game now. Let's see if he comes.
Packers go 5 wide again. Rodgers flushed, looked like someone had a hand on the face mask, and indeed, there goes the flag. That would be Greg Ellis. And it would seem inadvertently he got the hand up high and got a piece of the face mask. This will be first down, Green Bay.
They're not saying inadvertent anything. They called it a personal foul, I think. And Greg Ellis working against Mark Tauscher again, who's doing all that he can, but it was clearly the face mask that time by Greg Ellis, and when you get that turn of the helmet, that's what determines. If you grab it, that's a 5-yarder. If you turn it, it's a 15. Another big break for Green Bay.
And they'll step it off, and it'll be short of the 10-yard line, so the Packers will be in a position to get a first without scoring. First down, Green Bay.
But again, it was just 4-man pressure. Maybe they feel like because of the injury to Mark Tauscher, they don't have to blitz, with Greg Ellis bringing it from off that corner. Now they bring a tight end, Donald Lee, to that side to give him a little help.
Empty backfield for Rodgers. Throwing over the middle and completing the driver. Fighting for yardage to the 2-yard line. He'll be short of the first down. It'll be second and 1 or 2 yards.
And let's give some credit to Junius Costin inside. He came in at right tackle. I think they moved Jason Spitz over to left tackle. Darren College came out. And at least the interior protection has been better.
He'll throw on second down. Caught short of the goal line. This is John Kuhn. Kevin Burnett stopped him at the goal line, but it would appear that he has enough for a first down.
Pretty incredible tackle by Burnett. Kuhn had it, and it looked like he was just going to walk in the end zone. He just ran over his defender on the play, Keith Davis. It looked routine that he was going to walk into the end zone, and Burnett just stuck him and drove him right out of there. A heck of a tackle.
Not yet, Brett. Not yet. You could read his lips. He says, oh, first down. Not quite. Nope. John Perry says that's close enough for government work. First down, Packers. Not sure how he interpreted that late.
Well, partner, you called it on the button. You said they could get a first down. I didn't know they would that close to the goal line, but it ends up being a big play.
Neither did John Kuhn, evidently. Full house backfield. The give is to Grant. Touchdown Packers. My goodness.
And John Kuhn got a little revenge on that when he said, well, I didn't get it in, but my block's going to get it in. That time he threw a big block, leading Ryan Grant into the end zone.
My goodness, young Aaron Rodgers.
We got a story going on right here.
In any other community, they'd say this is the start of a quarterback controversy, but that won't happen in Green Bay. And with the extra point, the Packers have moved to within 3 with just a little over 5 minutes to play in the third period. We've got a ball game. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers have pulled it to within 27-24.
What'd you get?
The jalapeno cheddar double melt from Wendy's. It's got jalapenos, bacon, and 2 kinds of cheese melted between 2 hot, juicy burgers.
Oh, yeah? This Air Supply burger is pretty outstanding.
Making love out of nothing at all.
Dressing up a boring burger is just wrong. Enjoying the flavor explosion of the jalapeno cheddar double melt from Wendy's?
That's right.
Order a medium or large combo and get a free download of the music you really want from Rhapsody.
It's the season to shop, and the red tags are coming back for the Buick Pontiac GMC Red Tag event. And right now, they're bringing the best values of the season. Look for the red tag and get 0% financing for 60 months on remaining 2007 Pontiac, Buick, and GMC models. That's 0% financing for 5 full years on all 2007 cars, light-duty trucks, and SUVs while supplies last. The Red Tag Event. See some red, save some green.
From the creators of Hitman comes Kane and Lynch.
Everybody get down on the floor! Down!
I might have my issues.
Lynch, a medicated psychopath.
But I know exactly what you did, traitor.
Kane, a flawed mercenary.
I should regret it all.
Kane and Lynch, Dead Men. Single, co-op, and multiplayer. Rated M for mature.
Tis better when you win it. eBay. Shop victoriously.
The numbers pretty much tell the story of the NFL's Iron Man, Brett Favre. 249 consecutive starts in the regular season, 269 if you count the postseason, but a bruised right arm has forced him to the sidelines. And while Dallas has not been kind to Mr. Favre, that young man may have turned it into Mr. Rodgers' neighborhood. He's playing very well.
You think?
11 of 14, 130 yards, plus he's got 17 yards on the ground. We have a 27-24 ball game. And suddenly the onus is on the Dallas offense. This is Miles Austin. And he gets it back to the 20-yard line. Tony Romo will be taking the field shortly. We'll come back in a moment. Packers trailing by 3.
You actually got a pony.
Guess you got the Venus.
It's got a touchscreen.
Yeah. New chocolate?
4 gigs of music.
And they came with the Verizon network too, huh?
Does he bite?
Yeah.
The gifts they want are at Verizon Wireless. Versatile LG phones like the Multimedia Venus, the music playing chocolate, or the GPS-ready 8350. Verizon Wireless.
We knew in that huddle there was a group destined to apply the kind of pressure that had not been seen before.
Just thinking that after 15 years of work and to finally reach the pinnacle, they still get shivers.
I turned around, Lauren says, "Daddy, we're world champions." That was a special moment.
The same 3 words always come out when I look at it. We did it. We did it.
If you didn't watch NFL Game Day last Sunday, here's what you missed.
Not only is he fast, he has strength.
And this was just good football weather and a well-played game.
Don't miss NFL Game Day, Sunday night at 11:30, only on NFL Network.
It's like that ball has eyes. Because once it flies and senses our receivers rushing, it knows exactly which hands to land inside. Like T.O., try to catch him, oh, too slow. At the snap with him, there's no stopping. And once he gets to that end zone, you know he likes to keep the crowd rocking.
Terrell Owens enjoyed a big first half, 6 catches, 147 yards, and a touchdown. Romo trapped on that side with Aaron Campman, and A.J. Hawk comes up to put a stop to Jason Witten. It's going to be a loss of about a yard.
One of the things the Packers felt like that they could do to stop Tony Romo was to take away his first look. Their goal tonight was to make him pull the ball down and get away from his first receiver and go to his second receiver. Unfortunately for them, the Cowboys have had the kind of protection tonight. They can go to the first receiver, the second receiver, and the third receiver. That time they finally did get a little pressure on the outside on the bootleg.
Meanwhile, the Packers have gone to Tramon Williams in place of Jarrett Bush at the corner opposite Al Harris. Harris is matched up with Owens on the far side, and once again, A.J. Hawk. This time putting the lick on Marion Barber.
There you see the strategy one more time. They were going to try and take away the first looks of the running backs and the tight end. They've done a pretty good job on Jason Witten as well tonight. They just don't want to give him the easy throws. They want to see him hold the ball, pull it down a second time. That time it was a screen pass, but Hawk was able to split the defenders or split the offensive lineman, get in the backfield and make the play.
And good pressure again for Catman.
We've got one of those uh-oh kind of moments here for the Dallas Cowboys. They have to punt this football back to that young Aaron. Who knows?
3rd and 14, and as you can see, they are 0 for 4 on third down conversions this evening. Did he get it off? No, he did not.
Ball start, number 70 offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That was Leonard Davis inside, being flagged, and we'll push him back a little bit more, make it 3rd and 19 now.
Creates a lot of options right here for the Green Bay Packers defensively. You can try and make them throw hot, just tackle them for a 7, 8, 9-yard gain and let them send their punt team out.
Harris will be matched up with Owens at the bottom of your screen. At the top, it's young Tramon Williams, who we said has replaced Jared Bush. He's got Sam Hurd up there. Romo flushed, finding Crayton. 1st down, Cowboys. Atari Bigby was the closest defender.
Yeah, the problem is you got the T.O. factor working again. T.O. came down in short motion. Frank Walker picked him up in the slot. And Al Harris, for whatever reason, stayed there at the line of scrimmage. Really didn't try and drop back underneath it. You're looking at a 3rd and 19 kind of a situation. There's no reason to stay there at the line of scrimmage. You've got to drop back and try and get underneath that corner. They paid so much attention to T.O., they just let Crayton free.
3rd and 19, and they pick up 35. Gets him close to midfield. Romo with time. Throws this one out of bounds. He was going for Crayton, but pretty good coverage on that side by young Williams, the first-year player out of Louisiana Tech.
And Tramon Williams has been limping a little bit as he finished off that play. They tried to get him with an out-and-up look that time. They came with the short motion again with T.O. Cleared the zone thinking that they would draw the safety with him, go to out-and-up, but Tramon Williams stayed right with him.
Williams is a youngster who got a chance to play last week in a victory over Detroit and played very, very well. He impressed a lot of people. Fasano, the up back, trying to lead Barber. Fasano with a good block on the outside and maybe a face mask on that side. That was Bigby with the hand up high, and I think he might have gotten a piece of the face mask.
Dallas Cowboys have 3 of the best blocking tight ends in the game, maybe the best together.
Indeed, it was Bigby, so they'll step this one off.
Anthony Fasano, who stopped in the backfield, watch him cut the outside guy, and when you can get him on the ground, that's it. Tramon Williams taken out, and the corner was there for Marion Barber. This is some drive. That 3rd and 19 play is devastating right now for the Green Bay Packers.
Just when it appeared the Packers were going to get the ball back, Romo completes a 35-yarder to Crayton on this side, and suddenly it's the Cowboys who have a scoring threat just outside the 30-yard line. Romo lofting this one for Owens. Did he get him down? Did he have possession? Looked like he juggled it as he went out of bounds.
Tell you, this was some throw and catch right here. Tony Romo under pressure. They came with the blitz with the inside linebackers.
Oh!
Pretty close.
Oh!
That is an interesting one right there. He is bobbling, and did that last foot get down? First of all, when did he have control? Let's do that first
McCarthy
of all.
just threw the flag. He just threw the challenge flag.
Oh boy,
that's not a catch.
I'm thinking that's going to be ruled incomplete there. Couldn't see where all the toes were down, but it never looked like he had much control over that football.
McCarthy's second challenge of the night.
The previous play of a completed pass versus incomplete.
He was rebuffed on the first one in the first quarter, but in all likelihood, we think this one's going to go his way, do we not? Thanks for the second. We're back in a moment, 27-24.
At GMC, we are for 1 ton ever. Part of the most extensive line of pickups available. That's progress. That's professional grade.
Christmas Day. Our son was leaving the next morning for the Caribbean. Then we remembered his passports in the safe deposit box. I had no choice. I called my Wachovia banker at home. Bonnie and her team spent their holiday on it. Early the next morning, they opened the vault. Just for me.
At Wachovia, we're absolutely obsessed with satisfying our customers.
My son made his flight. I'm with Wachovia.
We'll be right in. One last time.
Your brother Chuck.
Charles.
His wife Lisa was on Jeopardy.
But don't talk about that.
Ooh, the change jingler.
Uncle Phil.
And your dad, ex-cop.
Perfect.
Yeah?
Let's go.
Mr. Oliver.
Adam, I've heard so much about you. You don't mind if I give you a little check here, do you? How are you? How was the traffic coming over, all right? Hey, everybody, look who's here.
Photo slideshows, blazing Wi-Fi internet, and music. All on the new Shadow. T-Mobile. Stick together.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Our referee, John Perry, has seen what he wants to see, and if, as we expect, this one is overturned, Cowboys will have 2nd and 10 at the Packers' 31.
Yeah, there was one additional bobble all the way out of bounds, wasn't there?
Yeah, this one's coming back.
After reviewing the play, it is an incomplete pass. The ball was being covered as he was going out of bounds, therefore incomplete. 2nd and 10, the 32.5-yard line. Green Bay is not charged with the timeout.
Even 3 yards out of bounds, he didn't have
possession. It was clearly that last bobble just ended any discussion whatsoever. So the Packers catch a break, and Wade Phillips has to dial up another one.
But where are they taking them back to? Hey, guys, you've gone too far. They've gone way too far. They've got them standing now at what would be the 43-yard line.
I think you can cheer and say what I thought was 30 and a half or something and a half.
I thought it was the 31. It's certainly not at the 43.
Yeah, you're going to take another peek. One more time.
That'd be really bonus. Yeah. Challenge it and get 12 extra yards.
Everybody in Green Bay was complaining, but boy, T.O. is such a force.
Visual evidence of where they started the last play.
Right there on the 31-yard line.
Yard line, 30 and a half, 2nd and 10.
We're splitting hairs now. In any event, it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Cowboys.
Big sequence here for the Green Bay defense with the way they're playing offensively right now. If they could limit the Cowboys to a field goal here, it would give them a great opportunity to take the lead on the next possession. In the slot with Al Harris on him.
Romo underneath to Owens. Al Harris comes up and stops him short of the first down. Don't forget, NFL Network has the 5 best NFL games each week re-aired in an enhanced 90-minute program. Chris Collinsworth watches every single minute.
I do indeed.
NFL Replay, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. That's only on NFL Network.
I'm sure this game's going to be an NFL replay, and I don't know if Al Harris is going to want to see this replay. T.O., well, I tell you, he's such a physical presence. Al Harris had pretty good coverage. He's banging around on him, and T.O. just slung him off of it.
Let's see what Jason Garrett dials up, 3rd and short. This is Barber. He'll get the first down easily. Just tripped up inside the 10. They'll mark it at the 3-yard line.
That is classic Marion Barber right there. The play was designed to go off to his right, literally without breaking stride. He's going to cut this all the way back to the left, and he loses no speed. That's what coaches marvel at around the league, his ability to see it, cut it back against the grain. It wasn't there. They were trying to go off to the right side. The cutback was there for him.
They've spotted it at the 5. It'll be first and goal. We've moved inside 30 seconds to go in the third period. Cowboys leading 27-24. Looks like he did not play beat the clock effectively.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
This was during Marion Barber's run. Al Harris been physical with Terrell Owens all night.
That's the only time he stopped him all night when T.O. was a spectator. He was catching his breath on that one, and Harris gave him a shot.
And we've reached the end of the third period. The Cowboys clinging to a 27-24 lead and barking at the door, going for more.
Hey, Coach, do you know that Coors Light tastes as cold as the Rockies?
You must think I'm dumb.
No.
Coach, no, it's just that some people don't know the Rockies are cold.
Would they be someone that you would think would know anything?
No.
Hey, Coach, you ever consider changing your nickname from Big Tuna to Big Coors Light?
This conversation's going nowhere, okay?
Okay.
Cross-brewed Coors Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Coach, our girlfriends think we talk too much about football and Coors Light.
But that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Preaching to the choir.
Philadelphia Eagles made a game of it against Tom Brady and the Patriots. Will the Ravens do the same Monday night? We'll talk about that matchup tomorrow on NFL Total Access.
My name is LaDainian Tomlinson. I play football. A lot of people say I came out of nowhere. I most definitely came from somewhere. I remember where I came from. It's made me who I am today. I played fullback at University High, but I wasn't really running the ball at first. You had to earn the right to carry the ball. When I got my chance, I didn't look back. Yeah, I'm used to being overlooked. Even once I started getting noticed, newspapers would still spell my name wrong. Good thing I go by LT now. My mom always told me, believe in yourself, go after your dreams, and work hard, because it ain't gonna come free, and it ain't gonna come easy. I believe no one is gonna give you anything. You have to earn it. And I believe in letting your performance speak for itself.
Vizio, America's #1 LCD HD TV.
We're in Irving, Texas. You're looking down at Texas Stadium. Tonight's aerial coverage is presented by Sears. The Cowboys are leading by 3, and they have a first and goal at the 10-yard line. You get a look. It was all Cowboys in the first half, but Aaron Rodgers put together a nice drive to bring the Packers to within 3. Packers had the Cowboys backed up on a 3rd and 19, but Romo completed a 34-yard strike to Patrick Crayton, get him out of the hole, and now they are looking for more. The give is to Barber. Barber looking for the corner, but he got turned back by Ryan Pickett. Good play by Pickett from inside.
Marion Barber, no question about it, has been a force in the fourth quarter, and I think not only has he been given that opportunity, but this big offensive line just wears people out in the fourth quarter. You look at them across the board, they're almost frightening how big they are, and I think they get back to a more simple approach when they're in the fourth quarter. You don't see all the pulling and the sort of trickery in the offensive line. They just come off and maul people, and I still feel like that's when they're at their best.
Second and goal from the 6. Romo with time. Owens in and out of his hands into the arms of Al Harris. Well, look what I found. Harris has got to be thinking he's got that one coming after what happened in the first quarter.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Hits T.O. right in the numbers. It couldn't be an easier catch, and he laterals it to Al Harris.
What a turnover. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense will get the ball trailing by 3.
Power tools have evolved. The new lithium Ryobi One Plus tools work at full power twice as long with a battery that fits all your other One Plus tools. Ryobi One Plus. Pro features, affordable prices. You'll find them only at the Home Depot.
At the corner of Hallis and Landry, there was a titanic clash of muck and man. The Mud Bowl. By game's end, the two teams shared a common uniform and one huge hunger. Introducing Campbell's Chunky Fully Loaded, the new Chunky in the black can. Fully loaded soups like rigatoni and meatballs with extreme amounts of meat to feed an NFL-size hunger. And yes, Mom, they washed their hands before they ate. New Campbell's Chunky Fully Loaded in the black can.
Now, the hit is on. Hitman, rated R, now playing only in theaters.
Get the best insights into the game with exclusive team reports. College Football Now, Tuesday through Friday on NFL Network.
Thursday Night Football on NFL Network is brought to you by the Home Depot, official home improvement sponsor of the NFL.
Well, there's the agony and the ecstasy right there. A more baffling turnover you will never see. Terrell Owens had one right in his jersey. If he catches it, we got close to game over. Instead, he delivers the ball to Al Harris. And just like that, the Packers have the ball at the 20, trailing by 3, and Aaron Rodgers has completed 10 in a row and led Green Bay to 2 scores in 3 drives. He completes this one to Greg Jennings. You explain this interception, if you will.
Well, I don't know that I can. Al Harris is not covering Terrell Owens this time. It was Nick Barnett inside. T.O. gave him a little push, angled back out, kind of got his feet tangled, tossed it over to Al Harris, who's had a pretty tough night tonight. But you take what you can get in the holiday season.
I got to give some credit to our spotter up here, Malibu Cal. In the commercial, he said maybe it was all that butter from the popcorn that T.O. threw on his jersey over there, made it a little bit slippery. Rodgers tries to throw a strike, fastball inside, but Kevin Burnett got his hand up and deflected that one. He was going for James Jones.
Kevin Burnett with a really heads-up play on that one. As Rodgers now starting to work the middle of the field more and more. Burnett right at the last second is going to get that one in there. But Jock Reeves has been doing a little better job lately than what we saw early on.
That one snapped Rodgers' string of 11 straight. Pretty impressive. Completes outside to Donald Driver, and he's muscled out of bounds. That's Jock Reeves. T.O. left to wonder exactly what happened there.
Boy, and it's such a big game. I think we have to reestablish what's on the line here. Dallas and Green Bay playing for the #1 seed in the playoffs. Not a lock, but probably so whoever ends up winning this game, meaning that if they met again in the championship game, the winner of this one gets the home field advantage. Huge game, and it looks like it's going to come right down to the wire.
And just as Brett Favre has had no success here, the Cowboys are 0-5 at Lambeau. This time, Rodgers is going to be wrapped up by DeMarcus Ware and thrown for a loss. And the Packers will have to give up the football.
Well, Chad Clifton that time just got beat by one of the best pass rushing outside linebackers in football. They get in the nickel, they get into the dime, he gets to put his hand on the ground, and that's not even close. You have to give your quarterback a chance. He tried to step up, and Clifton didn't even, barely got a hand on him. It's pretty bad.
John Ryan booms this one away. Patrick Crayton calls for a fair catch inside his own 25-yard line. And so the Cowboys dodge a bit of a bullet. They're still leading this one 27-24, just over 12 minutes to play.
Hey, I'm Ty Pennington. Now, you know I love to grant wishes. Well, Sears does too. They're granting big wishes to families across America, and one of them could be yours. Log on to Sears.com/wishes and enter to win. Sears is granting all kinds of wishes this year. Why not yours? Plus, sign up to get exclusive offers and alerts about wishing hours, Mondays and Tuesdays. It's all at Sears.com/wishes. And remember, this year, don't just give a gift. Grant a wish. Sears.
Isn't there a faster way you can do this?
No.
Doing things faster means waiting less. And with Sprint, you'll wait less to make calls with unlimited calling starting at 7 p.m. instead of 9. For more ways to wait less, go to waitless.org. Now get the Moto Razr V3M for only $49.99 from Sprint.
This holiday season, get $1,000 bonus cash toward Hummer accessories.
Thursday Night Football on NFL Network is rated for Sprint Speed. Sprint.
Don't forget, coming up next, it's the Home Depot postgame show. You can join the entire Total Access crew for highlights and analysis and some postgame interviews as well. Romo and the Cowboys trying to get something started here. This is Jason Witten, escapes the attempted tackle of Atari Bigby and gets the first down. Cowboys offense been a bit stagnant since they scored their last touchdown. They made it 27-10 with 9:53 remaining in the second period. They're still hung up on 27.
Yeah, and the Packers have done a pretty good job on Jason Witten tonight. They've been burned by some top-end tight ends around the league this season, but Jason Witten really hasn't hurt them that. But what you saw there is when they try to get into a man coverage with him with a safety, that's a real mismatch.
So first down Cowboys at the 37. Romo will throw. He's got Witten again. It's Hawk that chases him out of bounds, but we have a flag down. And this one would appear to be coming back.
Looks like
holding.
Looks like his mic gave way, but we're thinking it's Flozell Adams, number 76. They've got a grip. Let's take a look.
Working on the outside against Cullen Jenkins, and I'd say that's a hold. Get him around the neck right there. But one of the, remember, Kabir Baja-Biamila not in this game. And in this situation, Flozell Adams, if he has an issue, it's with speed rushers. He's okay generally if he can get himself out of the stance. But especially on the road, you'll see him struggle at times because that first move isn't good. But if he gets his hands on somebody, generally it's over.
Join the NFL's national gameplay calling competition. You can go to NFL.com live right now and call the play. If you called Marion Julius Jones off the right side, you got it right. You can compete in this real-time competition online or on your mobile phone while watching tonight's network's game. Call the play exclusively at NFL.com.
Well, we're getting right down to it here, aren't we? We've got Tony Romo, this kid who grew up in Wisconsin and was telling me earlier this week that he can't get one single of his old buddies to convert to being a Cowboys fan. Now trying to put a dagger in the Green Bay Packers, who have shown great heart here tonight. They really have. Despite all the injuries, they've stayed right with the Dallas Cowboys and coming up with a big couple of downs right here.
This time Romo with max protect has Owens in motion. Witten curling inside. It's for Witten, caught in the arms of Nick Barnett. But he's still going to be well short of the first down marker. It's going to leave the Cowboys with a third and a 7 or 8.
Aaron Campman keeps getting closer and closer and closer. That time able to dip down inside against Colombo and get some pressure. You know, offensive linemen are like anybody else. They start getting a little tired in the fourth quarter And Campman's a guy with a non-stop motor. Let's see if he can start being a factor now down the stretch. Big third down here.
Huge third down play. Romo over the middle. Witten. First down, Cowboys. You see A.J. Hawk there saying he pushed off, but he's not going to find a receptive ear.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a push off. Let's take one look. Usually
he extended the right arm just a bit.
That's the question. Usually they're going to let you have the elbow up and make a play. If you extend the arm in their estimation, then that typically is a foul. But as we've seen with Tony Romo throughout the course of the year, when times start getting a little bit tough, Jason Witten's his guy, and as long as they're going to play man coverage on him, they're going to go after him.
That one good for 13 yards, and what was a 3rd and 8. Second big down throw of the night for Romo. He wants it all this time. He's got Crayton out front. Miles Austin comes up looking for a flag. Their feet got tangled. He and Tremont Williams, and Austin can't believe, well, now the flag does come. But this one may not be for interference. This one may be.
It's definitely going to be interference. They had a discussion. One official thought the legs got tangled. They came over, met with the other official. He said, nah, he grabbed him, he hooked him, he did something else.
Well, then why not the flag early?
I think they had a dispute. I think one thought it was legs tangled, which is not.
Pass interference, defense, number 38.
I thought Austin had said the magic word, and that's why we got the late flag.
Yep. Do the legs get tangled, or is there more to it than that? The little hook, although it's hard to tell whether that really had anything to do with the interference. You get the push in the back. Really, the interference of it came when the legs tangled and not so much the contact. Then you have the question, was it a catchable ball or not? All those things go in the Cowboys' favor, and a huge play and a tough call.
Gets them 42 yards and earns them a 1st and goal from 5. Romo throws this one low.
Romo completely lost that football.
It was intended for Patrick Crayton.
He did the play action fake.
With quotation marks.
I mean, he took the thing and then he did a little juggling act and then tried to get it out of there.
Let's go back to the call. Legit?
I didn't like it, to be perfectly honest with you. There's the bobble and throw it out of there. I thought the leg tangle was really what they called on the interference. There was some other stuff, but I didn't see that dramatic jerk that would have led to a pass interference.
This is where Marion Barber is quite good, and he gets it. Sidesteps one tackler and looks for something on the left side, but doesn't find it. Ryan Pickett, who's played a whale of a ball game tonight, stops him after about a pickup of a yard.
Ryan Pickett, the former #1 pick of the Rams, came up with that big 4th down stop earlier, which was absolutely incredible, working against Leonard Davis. Favre saying, don't worry about it, we got it here.
Well, this is a big down for the Packers. If they can limit the Cowboys to a field goal here, they are within a touchdown of taking the lead in this ball game.
Our cameras have found the right guy. I wouldn't be surprised if they come back to that same play they missed before. Not man coverage here. Looks like some kind of a combination in and out look.
Harris is head up on Owens. Touchdown, Cowboys. Patrick Crayton. Well, he had Owens in the back of the end zone. He had Crayton in the front of the end zone.
Well, they release Owens, but then they're going to go out and then back in. But essentially what you get there is rebound position. You know, in basketball where you're going to try and get your body in front of the guy, because they went in and out on Owens there, then Harris was left to chase him back on that redirect, and it was just a matter of body position. It's not somebody beating somebody else there. Just his body was in front of his other. Nice play design that time by Jason Garrett.
And just like that, the Cowboys have put the Packers 2 scores back, thanks in great part to that interference penalty. It's 34-24 Dallas.
Dan Scott is a real Geico customer, not an actor. So to help tell his story, we hired someone who interviews actors.
It was the weekend and I had questions about my policy.
You had questions?
How existential. I called Geico. They were so helpful and gracious. I've heard they were also quite beneficent and magnanimous. It was refreshing to talk to an actual human being. Human beings behaving humanly. Brilliant.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
Part of being a great player is having great vision. So when it came time for me to get a new TV, I got a Vizio. It's clear, it's crisp, it gives me all the details I'm used to seeing on the field. My Vizio makes me feel like I'm right in the game.
He caught him napping, and now it's nothing but open field again. 40, what a block, 45.
Better.
Get in the game with the new Vizio, America's #1 LCD HDTV company.
NFL Network presents Thursday Night Football. And it's your place to see the world champs. The Colts hit the South to square off with the Falcons in an interconference battle. The run to the playoffs is back. NFL Network, your home for football 24/7, all year long. Thursday Night Football, Colts, Falcons.
Thursday Night Football on NFL Network is rated for Sprint Speed. Sprint. Sears. This holiday, don't just give a gift, grant a wish.
A 4.5-minute touchdown drive that ended with a 4-yard touchdown catch. Patrick Crayton has put the Packers in a considerable hole. They now need 2 scores with just 7:51 to play here in Dallas. This will be Corn Robinson. Robinson trips just past the 25-yard line. We'll take a break, and then we'll see what Aaron Rodgers can do with this Packers offense when we come back.
What happened to the conference room?
Conference room? This isn't the conference room.
What is it?
This is our new innovation station. From now on, this is where we meet to innovate, to rethink the core processes of our organization.
We're doing all that?
Well, we haven't actually done it yet, but when we do it, we have a place to do it. In.
I'll start with the fans. I like those questions.
Hey, Coach, how does Coors Light deliver such awesome refreshment?
To do that, you've got to have protection.
Right, the Frost Brew Liner. It really protects that Rocky Mountain refreshment.
Would any coach say that's not genius?
There's not another coach in the National Football League that would say that. And if he did, he'd be wrong.
Word. Frost Brewed Coors Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Coach, he had 3 sacks of mini burgers in the first game.
And 5 sacks in the second ball game. So that's 8 sacks in 2 games.
They're mini burgers.
Sirius Satellite Radio, the best radio on radio. Hear every NFL game, every week, everywhere. Plus the Sirius NFL radio channel.
The Home Depot post-game show follows us here on the NFL Network. The entire Total Access crew will have highlights and analysis, and they will surely have a look at this pass interference call, which netted the Cowboys 42 yards, and for a game of this magnitude, you'd hate to see it come down to this kind of a call.
Well, and he got both hands on him, but did he ever break stride because of his hands? I say no. The trip happened with inadvertent feet tangling together, and that's not supposed to be pass interference.
And so Aaron Rodgers really has his work cut out for him. He starts it with a completion to Donald Driver. You think that ought to be a reviewable call, don't you?
Yeah, I don't like the fact, it's probably my biggest beef with the league, is that those 50-yard game-changing penalties can't be reviewed. I mean, clearly there was a disagreement between the 2 officials there. Why not give them one more opportunity to take a look? This game has been too good. It's too important to not go underneath, let those 2 guys, if you want to, take a look at it and decide was it really pass interference or not.
Aaron Rodgers seems to have found his groove. Completed 13 of his last 14. He's got running room on the right side, and he'll get it close to midfield. First down, Packers.
Well, once again, we see that man underneath coverage. And the right side of the offensive line, I don't know exactly what happened, but Mark Tauscher was able to, and Junius Costin was able to trip up the defensive left side of the Cowboys, and there was just nobody left over there. Then they had the man coverage in the backfield. Everybody's chasing somebody, and Aaron Rodgers took off.
Aaron Rodgers, who's thrown for 150, has now picked up 30 on the ground, given 13 on that carry. He's got Grant in the backfield, completes this one to Driver on a crossing route, and Driver gets it into Cowboy territory to the 43-yard line.
Donald Driver, the workhorse for the Green Bay Packers offense. 75% of the balls that he catches are between the numbers. He's willing to go inside. He makes great yardage after the catch. Just one of the real tough guys in the game of football. Just vice grips for hands. A tremendous talent.
Well, all these Packers after the catch are ridiculous. They're like 600 yards more as a team than the NFL average. Lofting this one down the left sideline for Jennings. Slightly overthrown. Anthony Henry was in pretty good position.
Boy, Anthony Henry's played a nice game here tonight. Greg Jennings gave him a double move on a slant and go. And Henry was not fooled. Really easy to get tricked on a play like that. And sometimes you question the speed of Henry because of the ankle injury, but boy, he was stride for stride with probably the fastest of the receivers, Greg Jennings.
Rodgers completes this side. Corin Robinson, his first catch of the night, gets enough of a stiff arm on Henry to work his way close to the first down marker. Well, we've asked it already about kicking to Devin Hester, but we'll find out next Thursday. NFL Network brings you the Bears and the Redskins in an NFC showdown. That's next Thursday at 8 Eastern on NFL Network.
There's Sean Taylor. I think the funeral is on Tuesday. They have to come back and play on Thursday, the Washington Redskins.
I think the service is Monday.
Okay.
The Redskins will fly down as a team and lay their teammate to rest. And there you see Sean Taylor's number 21, a sticker on the back of several helmets tonight. This is Ryan Grant. Been a long while since we've called his number. But he may have the Packers' first down. Grant getting close to 100 yards in the night. He's just 5 short.
I don't believe the Cowboys have given up a 100-yard rusher so far this season. So Ryan Grant not only had a great day against the Minnesota Vikings and their stout run defense, turning around against a very good Dallas Cowboys defense and doing the same.
Well, when you get 62 in one chunk, it helps.
That helps. What do you do here if this one is not a first down?
Oh, I think they've got it. Well,
you've got
to get a field goal and a touchdown either way.
2 scores, but I think you've got to go for this one here, don't you?
Right. Even if they were to try a field goal at this point, he's looking at a 51-yard attempt.
Yeah. Have to take your shot. It's one of the issues, though, for the Green Bay Packers. They're not the classic running team, and maybe that factors into this decision because Mike McCarthy is going to kick this one. You do have to score twice. So he's going to try and get his field goal here. It won't be easy, though.
As we've noted, Crosby's long of the year is 53. So he's got enough leg for this.
I have to say I would probably go for it here. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I think you have to take your shot to try and go down and score this one. And this one is by no means a gimme from 52 yards.
I confess we were a little bit surprised at the spot. It appeared that he had enough for the first down, but they came up short. Crosby pulls the Packers to within 1 score with just 5:03 to play in the ballgame. So now it's on the Packers' defense. We'll find out what they can do when we come back.
Introducing the D64 series, the slimmest, lightest aquas ever. From the leading innovator in liquid crystal television, Sharp.
Part of being a great player is having great vision. So when it came time for me to get a new TV, I got a Vizio. It's clear, it's crisp, it gives me all the details I'm used to seeing on the field. My Vizio makes me feel like I'm right in the game.
He caught him napping, and now it's nothing but open field ahead. 40, what a block, 45.
Better.
Get in the game with the new Vizio, America's #1 LCD HD TV company.
NFL Network presents Thursday Night Football, and it's your place to see Denver. The Broncos hit the Lone Star State to battle the Texans in an AFC showdown. The run to the playoffs is back. NFL Network, your home for football 24/7, all year long. Thursday Night Football, Broncos, Texans.
We are not finished, fellas.
Relive all the excitement.
Don't blink, no matter what happens.
Enhanced with coaches' commentary, NFL films footage, and wired sound. NFL Replay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on NFL Network.
Back in Dallas at Texas Stadium, where Mason Crosby has pulled the Packers to within just one score with a little more than 5 minutes left, and the onus is on that man, Tony Romo, to see how much of that clock he can eat up and not give the Packers an opportunity to tie this ball game up. This is Miles Austin. And Miles Austin is tripped up as he crosses the 35-yard line. Let's go back to that third down play when it appeared to us as if Ryan Grant had enough for the first, and maybe if Mike McCarthy had a challenge left, he would have challenged the spot.
May have taken a shot, but you burn your 2 challenges, and you don't have that option at that point. And one of the reasons I disagreed with the call to take the field goal, a lot of people would have agreed with it. I think it's sort of a 50-50 call. You're looking at a team in the Dallas Cowboys that you really haven't stopped all day, and this is their absolute strength. This is where they have won game after game this year, this sort of 4-minute offense at the end of the game with their power running football style.
We're going to get a heavy dose of this man, Marion Barber. He starts off with a 3.5-yard gain. A.J. Hawk stops him. Romo has come up with big plays on third down tonight when they needed them, none bigger than when they were backed up deep in their own end. At 3rd and 19, and he threw a 34-yard strike to Patrick Crayton. Later on in the ball game, he had a 3rd and 8 and completed a 13-yarder to Jason Witten, in both instances keeping a scoring drive alive.
Here's where all that money you paid this offensive line is supposed to pay off. You get in behind the big guys, you just drive them out, run out this clock, and win the game.
Romo milking the clock. He's going to throw it. Completes this one to Jason Witten. And Witten, fighting for more yardage, breaks this one into Packer territory to the 45-yard line. First down, Dallas.
Well, it's been the Jason Witten show here in the fourth quarter when they needed it most. And really the Packers have no choice because of the size of that offensive line. You have to bring up 8 in the box. You have to take your shot at stopping the run. But as we've seen time after time after time, Atari Bigby simply no match for Jason Witten, who I think is the best tight end in the league. There's probably better receiving tight ends, but when you take the combination of his blocking ability and his pass catching ability, I think he's the best.
Better than Gonzalez.
Yes, I do.
Better than Gates.
Yes, sir.
Better than Cooley.
Yes, sir.
Barber on first down again, and yeah, we've got a face mask, and once again it's Bigby. That's the second time Bigby has gotten his fingerprints on the face mask of Mr. Barber.
15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
This one's fairly easy to call.
There's the bounce out again. Going back inside.
May I take your hat, sir?
Well, it's just not, you can't rip somebody's helmet off at this point in the game when you're desperately trying to get back in this thing. Penalties have been a factor for the Green Bay Packers. If I remember correctly, they're second highest in the NFL this season with penalties, and they've had some big ones tonight.
I want to welcome those who are joining us on NFL.com and NFL Mobile to Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. We've had a beauty going on here tonight, a game in which the Cowboys ran out to a 27-10 lead. But after Brett Favre went down, Aaron Rodgers played well. He's got them within one score with 3:10 to go in this ball game, 34-27 Cowboys.
Tools have evolved. The new lithium Ryobi One Plus tools work at full power twice as long with a battery that fits all your other One Plus tools. Ryobi One Plus. Pro features, affordable prices. You'll find.
Cowboys with a fresh set of downs. This is Barber spinning outside and getting to the 20. Stays inbounds. The clock keeps moving. We move inside 3 minutes.
Aaron Campman been getting pretty good pressure on the outside, not getting the sacks. This time having to fend off a 350-pound offensive lineman. But this is what the Dallas Cowboys have been doing. If you watch their games throughout the course of the season, by the time they get to the fourth quarter, they put Marion Barber in the game. They get behind their big offensive line, and they run out the clock. It is an absolutely huge part of it, but Jason Garrett believes in this guys. The guys up front are just massive blockers. They tend to get a lot more simple. And Marion Barber, tremendously conditioned, finds a way to find holes and bounce back.
And
Julius Jones generally sits in this situation.
The Packers have used their second timeout. These two teams have combined for 17 NFL championships. They met 3 times in the 90s, and the Cowboys in the postseason winning all 3 of those. And as we've noted, Brett Favre has had his problems down here in Dallas. He's been down here 8 times. He's come away a loser all 8 times. And now tonight, he comes away hurt. Not his favorite place to play. 2nd and 4, just inside 3 minutes. It's Barber again. And he looks like he's got the Cowboys a fresh set of downs. First down, Dallas.
Jason Witten once again, who's part tight end, part fullback, part blocking back. He can play so many roles on this football team, and as we've seen, the receiver side of him not too bad either. He is a tremendously talented young man, and Brett Favre now headed back into the locker room one more time.
We're counting down to the 2-minute warning. We're at 2:17. This will be the last play before that 2-minute warning. It's Barber inside once again. Then the clock will be stopped. But the Packers are in deep trouble here. It would seem the Cowboys can just milk the clock and get out of here with a 34-27 victory. We'll come back on the other side right after this.
What'd you get?
The jalapeno cheddar double melt from Wendy's. It's got jalapenos, bacon, and 2 kinds of cheese melted between 2 hot, juicy burgers.
Oh, yeah? This Air Supply burger is pretty outstanding.
Making love out of nothing at all.
Dressing up a boring burger is just wrong. Enjoying the flavor explosion of the jalapeno cheddar double melt from Wendy's?
That's right.
Order a medium or large combo and get a free download of the music you really want from Rhapsody.
Hotel and airline prices can vary depending on the day you travel, which means you might save a lot of money by shifting your trip a day or 2. That's why Expedia has airfare and hotel rate calendars. They show you how prices change day by day, and every trip is backed by our best price guarantee.
Book now during the Expedia holiday sale and save up to 40% on your hotel. But hurry, the sale ends soon. Expedia.com.
but Mancini and the Jets could have done a better job in the red zone today.
Get NFL Mobile only from Sprint on the all-new Motorola Razr 2. Sharper than ever.
Hello, Moto.
Visit Wendy's.com for a chance to win hot, juicy burgers for life. Expedia is now the official travel sponsor of the NFL. Go with confidence.
In Dallas, Tony Romo inside the huddle can afford to smile. His Cowboys are on the better end of a 34-27 score, and there's just 2 minutes left to play. 2nd and 8, and the Packers are reduced to just one timeout. Marion Barber once again. Turning him back, or at least trying to, was Al Harris. Barber stayed inbounds. They kept the clock running, but Green Bay has used its final timeout, it would seem.
Great job by Marion Barber getting down on this one. Let's go back to the two key plays of the game, both pass interference calls. I thought the first one was pretty obvious on Jarrett Bush. This next one's going to be the question. Was Tramon Williams looking back and playing the ball? He was early on. There's no question. He turned and looked back. And then right before the contact was made, he's going to turn back. So if in the official's mind he was not playing the ball, you could see he was turned and looking back at the ball, turned back to play Miles Austin, and that's when the tangled feet occurred. So your interpretation, was he looking back, was he not?
Glad I don't have to make the call.
Close call, no
but
question
they
about
did, and that's pretty much the difference in this ball game right now.
Miles Austin's had a big role in this one for a guy down the depth chart.
It'll be Barber again, and he'll be stacked up at the 7-yard line. Cullen Jenkins, who has played more than he normally might because KGB has been out. And it's worth noting that we had Bush and Williams on those 2 pass interference calls, both of them playing in place of Charles Woodson, who was out tonight.
Yeah, no question. Now we go back to Mike McCarthy's decision to play for the field goal, down 7. Now a field goal the other way essentially ices this one. So, you know, I second guess or whatever, but in my opinion, knowing the Cowboys offense and the success they've had so far, and in particular the success they've had in their 4-minute offense at the end of games throughout the course of the season, my decision would have been to go for the touchdown.
Timeout Cowboys, their second of the half. T.O. can smile. He's had a big game. He's actually had a game for the record books. He's the first player in NFL history with a touchdown catch and at least 6 receptions. First time in NFL history. The man has done that in 7 consecutive ball games.
And Tony Romo just continues to impress, doesn't he? A big game, no question about it. Championship sort of feel to it. And he's just dumping buckets of water on his head. He doesn't care. He's got his ball cap on backwards, little Ken Griffey Jr. maybe, you know, one of those.
I like your Magic Johnson analogy.
Yeah, you know, he's just a kid having fun out there and playing awfully well.
And so this attempt for Folk, he's made from 26 and 51. Add this one from 25, and that should do it. With that field goal, the Cowboys assume a 10-point lead, 37-27. As you can see, just slightly more than a minute to play in this ball game.
I'll make one last point about Tony Romo. Playing quarterback in the NFL is about reading defenses and finding single coverage. In this game tonight, he has done that as well as any quarterback you want to name. Every time the Green Bay Packers have left somebody isolated in one-on-one situations, he's found them, whether they turned into pass interferences or touchdowns. That has really been the key, and that is where I've seen the greatest improvement in his game from this year to last.
We spoke earlier about the quarterbacks who were drafted ahead of him. There were 13 of them, and of those 13, only one of them really is a legit week-in and week-out starter in the NFL, that one being Carson Palmer. There are two others who are presently starting for their ball clubs in Rex Grossman at Chicago and Kyle Bowler at Baltimore, but they've been in and out of the lineup. Other than that, he has outperformed the 13 who were picked ahead of him.
And a kind of break having Jason Garrett as his offensive coordinator, who has just been painting some masterpieces in Dallas.
Oh, Tramon Williams just got baptized at the 18. Keith Davis, their special team specialist, just laid a lick on him. We waited 59 minutes into this ball game to get some degree of satisfaction. I'd say he got it.
Keith Davis with a little exclamation point at the end of this one, and well, it takes all three phases to end up 11-1 on the season, and that was something. Wade Phillips, defensive-minded guy for a long time. That's what he saw there.
Gutsy performance by the Green Bay Packers, but it appears it's going to fall short. Rodgers completes this one to Donald Driver. He's trying to get out of bounds and does. Got bounced around a little bit there before he made his way to the sidelines. Rodgers has played very well tonight. Unofficially 17 of 22 for 192 yards and a touchdown.
Well, there's no question that the future looks brighter today than maybe it did yesterday, when you're thinking about the fact that Brett Favre is 38 years old and who knows how much longer he can play. But should Brett be seriously injured, and we don't really know at this point, it's like they're still going to have a very legitimate shot in the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers will go over the 200-yard mark as he completes this one to Jennings. But the tick, tick, tick moves us inside 40 seconds now. Rodgers grounds it.
And this is a bold statement by the Dallas Cowboys as well. When you juxtapose the two, New England's struggle against Philadelphia the other night, the impressive performance here by Wade Phillips' squad against the 10-1 Green Bay Packers, you start to say, is there enough there? You know, they just keep adding elements and they keep getting better. Tank Johnson comes in, you know, that wasn't there early in the season. Tony Romo keeps maturing. His relationship with T.O. gets better.
Back on October 14th, of course, these Cowboys played the Patriots here and lost to them 48-27. But this is a far different team than the team of 6 games ago.
And I'll say this as well, that was a game that, if I remember correctly, in the third quarter, the Dallas Cowboys were leading. They kind of got away from them a little bit late. But this is a young team. They're getting better. They're getting guys back healthy, getting an Anthony Henry back, and Greg Ellis looks better than what he did early in the season, coming back from the Achilles injury. So there's a lot to be optimistic about in Dallas.
Rodgers on 4th down, throwing incomplete. And with that, Jerry Jones can start shaking hands and giving hugs.
And he's going to start with Jason Garrett, and why not? That young man has done so much for this football team. Jerry Jones actually was interviewing for the head coaching job, and they thought, well, you know what? Wade Phillips has the experience. He's been here before. He knows what he's doing. Let's give Jason a little bit more time to develop and do his job. But when you look at this offense, there have been very few offenses in the history of the game that have been better than what the Dallas Cowboys have been. And Jason Garrett, mark my words, will be the hottest, or at least one of the hottest, head coaching candidates at the end of the season. And then Jerry Jones has to figure out a way to keep him around in this Dallas organization.
And the Cowboys go to 11-1 as the Packers lose for just the second time this year for Dallas. That is a franchise best start, 11-1. The Cowboys win it 37-27. Don't forget the Wendy's post-game show, Home Depot post-game show is coming up in just a little bit. We'll be back in Dallas with some final notes before we get to Rich and the guys. and we'll have an interview down in the field. Adam Schefter, we'll see if he can get a few words from Rick Romo. But our final here at Texas Stadium is the Dallas Cowboys 37, the Green Bay Packers 27. We'll be right back right after this.
Thank you for watching this presentation of the National Football League on NFL Network.
Honey, what do you say we invite my parents to visit for the holidays?
Yes!
Great. Maybe we can fix up the house some.
All right!
Yeah, a new vanity in the guest bathroom, a new chandelier, new area rug, and maybe we can paint the walls a nice ochre.
Oh, come on!
Okay, it doesn't have to be ochre.
Now through Wednesday, you can get no payments, no interest until January 2009 on store-wide purchases of $2.99 or more with your Home Depot consumer credit card.
We knew in that huddle there was a group destined to apply the kind of pressure that had not been seen before.
Just thinking that after 15 years of work and to finally reach the pinnacle, they still get shivers.
I turned around, Lauren says, "Daddy, we're world champions." That was a special moment.
The same three words always come out when I look at it. We did it. We did it.
Devin Hester leads the Bears into Washington on Thursday Night Football. Bears-Redskins next Thursday night at 8 on NFL Network. Welcome to the Home Depot postgame show, the official home improvement sponsor of the NFL.
We welcome you back to Texas Stadium in the Home Depot postgame show. We've just watched the Dallas Cowboys turn back the Green Bay Packers 37-27. A remarkable night, really, especially so because Brett Favre, the Iron Man of the NFL, was chased to the sidelines with a bruised throwing arm after that hit by Nathan Jones. Aaron Rodgers came in and actually played very effectively for the Packers. They climbed to within 3, and they looked to be in position to take the lead in the fourth period, especially so after a crazy turnover. The Cowboys throwing into the end zone, and Terrell Owens just coughed it up. Al Harris picks it off, but the Cowboys defense bowed itself, got the ball back, and then this was the big play of the game, the interference call. Inside the 5-yard line, Miles Austin getting the benefit of the call there, a 40-yard break, and then the touchdown to Crayton put the Cowboys up by 10. They wind up winning it by 7. The star of the night, Tony Romo, 19 of 30, 309 yards, 4 touchdowns. He talked a moment ago with our Adam Schefter.
Tony, congratulations. You clinched a spot in the playoffs and you had the inside track on home field advantage in the playoffs. What does that mean to you?
That was, our first goal of the year is to come out, and win division games, get into the playoffs, and we've accomplished that now. And obviously the next step is to win the division and put yourself in position, to go far.
Why was this team able to get out to such a quick start tonight, 27 points in the game's first 20 minutes?
We just executed. The game, it's just about going out there to execute and just trying to go to the guy who's open and hope you don't miss him halftime.
There have been some great quarterbacks who have played here, both here tonight. Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, yet you threw 4 touchdowns tonight to set a new single-season franchise record with 33. Does that mean anything to you?
I don't really play for individual records or anything. I mean, that's a testament to our team and how well we're playing, really. And I'm sure they'll look good, but if you win the Super Bowl, then those things are meaningful, I guess. But if you don't, they're just kind of something that happens, I guess.
Well, Tony, you're now 17-5 as a starter. Congratulations, and enjoy the 10-day break.
Appreciate it, bud.
Thanks so much.
All right, Adam Schefter, thanks so very much. And so here's a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. The Cowboys, for the first time in their pretty glorious history, moved to 11-1. And the Packers are still sitting in very good position for the number 2 seed. The rest of it pretty much self-explanatory. Reason it's pretty important in the NFC, the last 3 years, the number 1 seed has moved on to the Super Bowl in this conference.
Yeah, and the lines are pretty well drawn now, aren't they? The Dallas Cowboys, clearly the favorite now in the NFC, the New England Patriots in the AFC, and the way those two teams have been playing, it's hard to imagine anybody coming into their home and knocking them off. But we've seen stranger things throughout the course of the year, but a very impressive performance tonight, not just by the Dallas Cowboys, but Tony Romo, Terrell Owens. The stars came out, performed the way they have all season long, and then at the end of the game, that big offensive line, Marion Barber took over as they've done all season long.
We look at the other side, Green Bay Packers. Good news, bad news. Good news is they came in here, people were still asking questions about them, but they showed themselves to be really a genuine playoff team and a power in the NFC. Bad news is Brett Favre is a big question mark.
A big question mark, and really they played tonight really without 3 of their biggest stars, Charles Woodson, KGB, Brett Favre, all going out for this ball game. So not a full look out of the Green Bay Packers, but let's give the Dallas Cowboys credit. They came in, took care of business at home, and got it done.
Our final 37-27, we can expect to see both these teams playing in January.
No question.
No question about that. With that note, let's go on downstairs to Rich Eisen and the Total Access Home Depot post-game show crew. Rich?
All right, Bryant and Chris, thanks very much. Rich Eisen, Marshall Falk, Deion Sanders, and Steve Mariucci with that Home Depot post-game show. All right, guys, let's talk about this game. 37-27. 4 more touchdowns for Tony Romo. Terrell Owens, a $156, but as Chris Collinsworth pointed out, the Packers were within 1 possession of the Cowboys in this hostile environment without Charles Woodson, without Kabir Bajaj-Biamila, and without Brett Favre. Did they take anything out of this game other than the loss, Marshall?
Well, definitely Aaron Rodgers. You found out that you have a backup quarterback and your future is pretty good. He played pretty well. But when you look at this game, and in big games, period, there's 2 things that you can't do. You can't turn the ball over, and you can't have a lot of penalties, and the Packers had a lot of both.
It's hard enough to get 2 corners that can bump and run and play this game at a certain level. Then to think that you could replace them with 2 young corners in a game of this magnitude is absurd. But I don't think we could take too much from this game because Green Bay was shorthanded and Dallas got away from their game plan. You got to learn how to kill a gnat with a sledgehammer. When you get a team down, it's not a championship-type team if you can't put them away. And Dallas showed me today that they didn't know how to put the Green Bay Packers away.
I was impressed with both football teams. Number 1, Dallas winning this game in good fashion, although, like you mentioned, I thought Green Bay came out and shorthandedly now with personnel made some nice halftime adjustments and slowed down Dallas in that second half. They only got 1 touchdown, and it was because of a 42-yard pass interference penalty. So I like Green Bay's effort. It showed us that, hey, they can compete with the big boys shorthanded. If they get these guys back healthy and play again, it ought to be a heck of a game. And Aaron Rodgers looked like he did when he played at Cal, playing against USC in the big games. He always played well.
That said, the Dallas Cowboys are the ones that emerged from this game with an 11th win in a playoff spot and the inside track in the NFC right up until the Super Bowl. And Tony Romo with 4 touchdown passes. He's now the all-time single-season touchdown thrower in the history of this franchise. That is, for the first time, 11-1. And yet, you take out of this game, Deion, that they couldn't close out the Green Bay Packers.
They couldn't put them away. I mean, you playing shorthanded, and you can't put them away. And they got away from their game plan. When Aaron Rodgers came in, really, that was the best thing that happened to the Green Bay Packers because Dallas had a defensive game plan to stifle Brett Favre unbelievably. I mean, the pressure they put on him. As soon as Aaron Rodgers came in, it seemed like they got hesitant. They got reluctant. They start playing soft, and he was sitting back there just looking at one receiver the whole time. It's not like he was making a read or anything. And when everybody was covered, he ran. It was simple.
Yeah, at one point, he was 14 out of 15, and he looked very poised and comfortable in the pocket. And I also like his mobility. He got out of there. What did he have? 30 yards rushing tonight on five carries. So this was a good thing for the Green Bay Packers to see what they've got as a backup because he simply hasn't played, but he showed us a lot tonight.
Well, as the crowd is all fired up, chanting T.O. because I believe he is out here on the turf. And maybe we can get him over here. Maybe we could do that. Who knows? That's what you have when you got the Home Depot post-game show. You got muscle. You're in Dallas.
The Home Depot post-game show is brought to you by the Home Depot, official home improvement sponsor of the NFL. Wendy's. Visit Wendy's.com for a chance to win hot, juicy burgers for life.